Welcome to Trending Update USA. I am Steffan, bringing you today's in-depth special report on Coco Gauff's emotional revelations, as the young superstar opens up about her journey through the 2025 season and the deeply personal messages she received from her father, mother, and boyfriend. What emerged is a powerful narrative, one that goes far beyond tennis results and highlights the vulnerable, human side of a champion who continues to evolve emotionally, mentally, and competitively. Coco Gauff has long been known as a player who manages pressure with an extraordinary level of poise for her age, but 2025 has been transformative in ways that few outside her inner circle truly understood. As she reflected on her run, she admitted that the emotional toll of expectations, constant travel, injuries, and the sheer weight of being a global figure had pushed her into new territory that required deep personal grounding and the support of the people closest to her. And that is where the private messages from her father, mother, and boyfriend, Jalen Sera, entered the picture. For the first time, Coco allowed the public a glimpse into what those messages meant and how they shaped her mindset during some of the toughest and most triumphant moments of the year. She began by speaking about her father, Coco Gauff, who has always played the dual roles of coach and parent with precision and restraint. Coco's message to Coco during a particularly stressful stretch of the season wasn't about tactics or technique. Instead, it was a reminder of identity. You're more than your wins, company. Your joy matters. Your peace matters. Coco revealed that reading those words felt like lifting a heavy emotional weight off her shoulders. She explained that at times, achieving success at a young age creates an illusion that athletes are superheroes who don't feel fear, frustration, or burnout. But the truth is more complex. The reminder from her father allowed her to reset mentally, to step onto the court not as someone trying to meet expectations but as someone reconnecting with passion and purpose. Coco then spoke about the message from her mother, Coco Gauff, whose role in her life is rooted in emotional intelligence and protection. The message her mother sent was simple but profoundly grounding. Remember who your younger self wanted to be. You're already her, and more. Coco shared that her mother's words brought tears to her eyes. She remembered the 12-year-old version of herself training for hours, dreaming of the big stages but never imagining the magnitude of the spotlight she now lives under. Rediscovering that childhood dream, Coco said, helped her find strength during matches where tension threatened to cloud her clarity. It gave her perspective, that winning is an extension of love for the sport, not the source of it. Perhaps the most talked about moment was Coco's decision to reveal what her boyfriend, Jalen Sera, wrote to her. Rarely does she speak publicly about their relationship, but this time, she chose transparency. You don't have to be perfect for the world, Jalen wrote. Just be present. I'm proud of you even on your hardest days. Coco admitted that this message anchored her emotionally in a way she didn't expect. It reminded her that the world often sees only the highlight reels, the trophies, the titles, the viral match points. But behind those are days of doubt, days of injury recovery, days when motivation doesn't come easily. Jalen's message helped her reconnect with her humanity, something athletes often suppress for the sake of performance. As Coco continued speaking about her 2025 run, she admitted that this season felt like a test of her emotional strength more than anything physical. She faced difficult draws, hostile crowds, and moments where the pressure of being a Grand Slam champion and a global role model became suffocating. Yet what kept her grounded was the constant thread, the voices of the people who know her not as Coco Gauff, the tennis superstar, but as Coco, the daughter, the girlfriend, the young woman navigating a high-stakes world with vulnerability and courage. She described how these messages became her silent fuel during the most tense moments of the season. Whether it was a third-set tiebreak, a comeback from behind, or a moment where her serve faltered and she needed to stabilize mentally, she often pictured the words her loved ones had written. They made me feel like I was carrying home onto the court, she said. Like no matter what happened, I wasn't alone. Her reflections also extended to fans, whom she credited for lifting her spirits during challenging tournaments. She recounted a moment during a major event when a young girl held up a sign that read, "Coco, thank you for inspiring us." Coco said that she realized then that her journey isn't just about accomplishments, but about impact. This season reaffirmed her responsibility not to be perfect but to be authentic. And authenticity meant embracing the emotional support system that keeps her grounded. When discussing her competitive goals moving forward, Coco emphasized that the personal messages from her family and boyfriend became the catalyst for redefining success. Winning titles remains important, she said, but prioritizing emotional well-being ensures longevity. She wants her career to be sustainable, not a burnout story. She admitted that earlier in her career, she felt an invisible pressure to constantly prove herself, to fans, to critics, to rivals, to the tennis world at large. But 2025 shifted that narrative. "No," Coco said. "I'm playing for myself, for the people who love me, and for the version of myself that wants to enjoy every moment on court." Coco also spoke openly about the media pressures she experienced throughout the season. Being under the microscope meant that every win became magnified, and every loss became overanalyzed. Athletes often talk about blocking out noise, but Coco confessed that blocking it out is almost impossible in today's digital age. That's where the family messages played a vital role. They acted as a filter, a protective net that allowed her to stay emotionally intact despite external scrutiny. Her father's message, in particular, became a mantra. She repeated the phrase, "Your peace matters," before matches, during changeovers, and even on flights between tournaments. The simplicity of those words contrasted sharply with the complexity of her life as a top-tier athlete. And yet it worked. She described feeling lighter, more centered, and more capable of handling whatever unfolded on court. Her mother's message had a different effect. It reignited her emotional connection to tennis. Coco said that thinking about her younger self made her more grateful, more grounded, and more resilient. It reminded her that the love of the game predates any fame, ranking, or title. In interviews throughout the season, she began expressing more joy, more playfulness, more gratitude. Meanwhile, Jalen's message offered a form of emotional intimacy that she said helped her grow not only as an athlete but as a person. Their relationship, she noted, thrives on communication and balance. Jalen doesn't give her tactical advice, nor does he intervene in tennis decisions. Instead, he focuses on her emotional stability, reminding her to breathe, to reflect, and to be present in the moment. Coco said that this kind of support is rare in high-pressure sports environments, and she treasures it deeply. Toward the end of the season, Coco experienced a moment of clarity during a late-night training session. Exhausted yet determined, she revisited those personal messages on her phone, and she realized that her support system wasn't just helping her survive the season, it was helping her evolve into a stronger, more emotionally balanced competitor. That epiphany guided her approach to the final tournaments of the year, resulting in performances marked not only by technical precision, but by emotional steadiness. As she looked back on the season with honesty, Coco acknowledged that mental health remains a critical part of her journey. She discussed how the tennis world is beginning to better recognize the emotional challenges athletes face. Her willingness to share personal messages reflects a broader desire to remove stigma around vulnerability in sports. She hopes that young athletes watching her understand that strength isn't about hiding emotions but about managing them with support and openness. In the closing moments of her reflection, Coco returned to the people who anchored her throughout the year. She said that her father taught her discipline, her mother taught her emotional intelligence, and Jalen taught her presence. Together, their messages shaped her mindset, enriched her emotional landscape, and strengthened her competitive edge. She ended by saying, "Tennis is what I do, not who I am. The people who love me remind me of that every day." And with that, she expressed her gratitude, not only to her inner circle but to the fans who continue to support her journey, celebrate her victories, and encourage her through adversity. Her 2025 run, then, becomes more than statistics and results. It becomes a testament to the power of emotional grounding, familial love, and supportive partnership. It becomes a story of a young woman learning to navigate fame without losing herself. It becomes a chapter where Coco Gauff steps forward with clearer identity, stronger mental resolve, and deeper connection to the people who matter most. And as we watch her prepare for the 2026 season, the foundation built in 2025, fueled by heartfelt messages from her father, mother, and boyfriend, positions her not only for competitive success but for personal fulfillment. Coco Gauff's journey continues, but now with a renewed sense of self, a clearer emotional compass, and a support system that empowers her to thrive on every level. This has been Trending Update USA. I am Steffan, bringing you the full story behind Coco Gauff's heartfelt revelation.